its unofficial depth chart from the Eagles, Darius Cooper should be the number 3 just for the signal value of dominating practice. Absolutely not. Where in God's name do you get that? Darius Cooper will not be the number 3 wideout. That's if Makai Lemon is standing and can play, he's going to be your number 3 or Elijah Moore. Now, Cooper may get playing time. I told you. Just because you're a camp hero doesn't mean you're going to be a starter. The only thing that Darius Cooper has done is made coaches notice. Bro, you got the politics of the league behind you or against you. And you've got Howie Roseman. Hey, Jeff, you know that $30 million you gave in fully guaranteed money to Makai Lemon? We're going to freaking start Darius Cooper. Oh. Yeah, try selling that. I'm a huge Jalen supporter, believer, but my God, some of these fans are delusional. I mastered it in 10 days. Dude, they've got to set a narrative. Jalen won't master that West Coast offense, if he does at all, over the next 5 years. Who do you master it with? Hollywood Brown and Darius Cooper? You're under the impression Hurts is Montana. Markel's 40 is way slower than Lane, but quick enough on his feet plus the size. Forrest, offensive lineman? How much do you think that guy has to run? 10 yards? Max? 4 yards? 40-yard dash for an O-lineman? Who cares? I mean, who cares? Cooper might not make the 53 and get picked up by another team. That I don't think is going to happen. He's making the 53. I'd put his ass on special teams. Hey, I'd try his ass out as a punt returner. So, Sills, who's better football player, Makai Lemon or Darius Cooper? I don't know yet. I haven't seen Makai Lemon play. And nor have you. Shouldn't be hearing this much noise from an undrafted wide receiver. That shows you how limited you are in talent and wideout, if that's the case as well. Or he's exceptional. Two things can be true. Seals, for a UDFA, the object is to make coaches notice. Lemon's unavailability gives Cooper time on tape. I understand the politics, but it's not Lemon's spot until he grabs it. Actually, Bob, it's his spot until someone takes it from him. And someone's going to take it from him if he can't get on the freaking field. Get this, Bob. Makai Lemon is losing a starting job that was given to him, and he can't get on the field. Seals, one thing I will say is that Darius Cooper thing may actually be real. I know it's early, but he is the one wide receiver that day, in and day out, that is getting praised by coaches, quarterback, media, players, etc. Okay. Understand? But don't forget the politics of the game. So, if Makai Lemon's ready to go, you're putting the 17th pick on the sidelines for a UDFA because he had a good training camp. Is that right? What about when Cooper DeJean didn't have training camp and Vic just put his ass in, and his career took off. How do you know he's not that guy? How do you know if you put Makai Lemon into a ball game, Makai Lemon gives you the same impact that Cooper DeJean gave your defense? You drafted him in the first round for a reason. Did you not? The hell did you draft him for then? First round pick says it's his job. These fans are delusional. No organization will give up on a first round pick that quickly. Lemon will play. You don't give up on first round picks, especially in Philly. Vic Fangio says his guys keep thinking they've got the sack, then realizing they've never had him. 3,554 career rushing yards, 63 TDs. New OC calling design quarterback runs. Well, I hope that's the case. Sills, Jalen Carter was asked about the upcoming joint practices. If any altercation happens, his reply was, I don't try to start him. I just finish them. Great answer. Sills, I slept on your take yesterday regarding Wicks, Hurts, Barkley. Love him. I pray the kid steps up and makes the most of his opportunity. Correct. If Lemon doesn't know what he's doing and dealing with injury, Darius Cooper is the 1,000% wide receiver 3. So you're going to start Darius Cooper over Hollywood Brown and over Elijah Moore because he had a good training camp. The first round pick is going to play. Second, Dontavian Wicks is going to play because you gave him the money in the contract. And Devontae's the number 1 guy. Thank you, Randall. But then again, fans shouldn't know the politics of the sport and the money and how it plays a factor. Why would RC know that? He wouldn't. Sills, this team has a strong track record of hitting on long shots. Mulata, Blankenship, Ajomo. Don't forget Edwards, too. The UDFA linebacker that plays in Chicago now, who is like one of the top tackling linebackers in pro football. Don't forget him. TJ Edwards turned out to be a pretty damn good football player as well. Mulata took the spot from Dillard. Yeah, well, Dillard couldn't make the team. Lemon is a better product than Rager coming out. That's for sure. How do you know that? How do you know that? Because he came out of Lincoln Riley's system? Probably. Forrest, probably. Jalen Hurts already answered the question, y'all. I don't know why y'all keep bringing it up. Jalen is waiting on Lemon to get back because he's starting. They're not going to not. If Lemon can walk, they're starting him. So wait. Darius Cooper, an undrafted free agent, is going to beat out the 17th pick in the draft for wide receiver 3. Well, that's not a very good look for Howie. Wide receiver 3? Who you never use? I mean, Jahan Dotson had 20 catches last year. Sills, BG is in shape and wants to play. His leadership is off the charts. Does Howie call him if they are barred with an injury? I think that day and I think that ship sailed, dude. The two dudes they got look like they're better signs than a year ago. The Uche and the other guy they signed a year ago, this guy Ebikadi and Epinenza. I think those guys look like they're better players. Plus, you got Nolan. And by the way, if Nolan Smith can't play, I mean, Jesus criminy, I've got to get a 40-year-old Brandon Graham? I thought you drafted Nolan Smith to replace Brandon Graham. Eagles' first unofficial depth chart is out. And there are really 5 things worth arguing about. Let me see if I got it sent to me. Clint usually sends me one. Hold on here. See if I got it sent. Shit, dude, they still got Lemon in there as the third dude. They still got Lemon as 3. Nolan Smith was to replace Reddick. Well, then who was the one to replace Josh Sweat? Darius Cooper starting at 3 makes the offense better, Sills. We didn't expect this. Expect what? What are you talking about? Have you... Dude, the guy has done nothing but open people's eyes. Do you not know how practice works and how you move up a depth chart? He's worked himself into some playing time. So let me get this right. He's balling in camp. That even sounds fucked up. That bump from New York Jets was the replacement for Reddick. He was a bust. That's right. Bryce Huff was that. Whatever, RC. You're an idiot. Jalen needs to work with Lemon one-on-one. They need to mirror each other. Dude, Kim, he needs to get healthy. Working one-on-one? He needs to get healthy. Then he can start working on techniques. Working on a jug gun and showing up to team meetings is not going to cut it. Now, I wrote this here. Here's a topic for you. It's day 10. No Makai Lemon. Okay. Let's put this out there. How many people believe he can miss all of training camp and he's going to give you the same impact that Cooper DeJean gave you when Vic put him in on the defense? How many people in here believe he's going to have that same impact? Missing training camp. I don't. How many people believe he's going to have the same impact as Cooper DeJean? Sills, that's unreasonable. Okay. So this is going to be a slower process then. All right. Sills, what do you think of Quentin Williams' deal? Think it's tremendous? Guaranteed money's awesome. And he's worth it. I love Mulata. You think he can finally make a Pro Bowl? He was Stoughton's best experiment. I would say this to you about Mulata's chances of making first team All-Pro. Okay? Now, the Pro Bowl, probably. All-Pro, Tristan Wirfs, Penei Sewell, the kid with the Chargers. Trent Williams, his name is still out there. Olada's a fine ball player. He's really good. And it's a shame he doesn't have a Pro Bowl to his name. But then again, Smitty doesn't have a Pro Bowl to his name. Matter of fact, does T. Higgins have one? Does T. Higgins have a Pro Bowl being in a 2 spot? Yeah, he's got one Pro Bowl. The second team guys can make the Pro Bowl. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are Pro Bowlers. Look at a quarterback throwing the ball. Of course you would say that because of anything going good, you have to find what are you referring to, my friend? What are you referring to? The chances of you having another Cooper DeJean impact, you didn't have one last year. Cowboys D beat up Stafford today. 2 picks and 4 sacks. Good start. Vic Fangio discussed his concerns about Jonathan Greenard. I'm going to get to that. We got Big Z at the bottom of the hour. Let me get to oh, by the way, Vic Fangio, once again, being 1,000% on who you are as a football player, is so awesome to listen to. I just love listening to that guy talk. Dude, that guy is so truthful. It's remarkable. All the shit that you guys like, RC and all these guys say in here, he completely validates everything I say every time he gets behind the mic. So let's go on. By the way, we wrote down verbatim what he said. I think Vic's playing some of his guys on Saturday. How about when he was asked about Ty Robinson? Last couple days, it's been better. Let's see if he can keep it up. Man, is that poor. That is not good. That is not good if you're Ty Robinson. Last 2 days have been okay. Let's see if he can keep it up. We're hoping. That guy may not make the football team. That guy may not make it. Jonathan Greenard, we're not going to see that guy for a couple more weeks. Well, shit. How many weeks do you have until the start of the season? It's 36 days away. What are we talking here? Is Greenard going to be ready for the opener? So you're going to start the season with Nolan Smith and Jalen Hunt as your edges. Like you did a year ago. All right. Let's see how that plays out. Maybe Greenard gets back. Then you're still going to have to ramp his ass up. Right? Hey, by the way, it's a shoulder injury, right? Is it a shoulder injury? Because if it's a shoulder injury, he could be on the bike. Yeah, look at this. Year ago, went 5-0. And then in the back end of the roster, you went 7-7. Liars month. Then you were a 500 football team. You going to tell me that's a lie too? Trotter. It's a pack. Good. That means he could still be on the bike, at least doing conditioning. And maybe doing a little bit of running. He said Trotter's really having a good camp. Kid's coming on, man. I don't know if he's going to push for playing time. Vic was kind of asked that a little bit, and he's like, we're not there yet. But he's having a good camp. Vic told you right there, yeah, nobody's pushing Campbell and Baud for playing time. But yet you think Darius Cooper, well, maybe. We'll see. So Byron Young is having a good camp. That's great to hear for him. Because he might be the heir apparent to Moro Jomo. He's getting better, he says, too. That's great. He said it is really great competition right now at the safety spot. Man, Vic Fangio, that's really great to hear. Who's going to play next to Makuba? And he said it. You know, there's a great competition going on right now. And he really loves the competition. His, Epps, Epps and Carter are having a really good camp. And it's a really good battle. Love it. How about the shit he talked on Riq Woolen? Did I hear that right? He's got to be in really great shape to play the way he wants. I don't think Vic thinks he's in good enough shape. Because he mentioned conditioning. He says sometimes he gets a little lazy in his technique. Okay? Is that conditioning? He's concerned about the depth at corner. We told you this. You're not great at corner. Now, if you had to move Cooper out there, that's your depth. If you lose Woolen or you were to lose Q, I'm thinking they would probably put DeJean out there. So he says, we're hoping it plays itself out, the depth at corner. He mentioned conditioning with Riq Woolen. Which two Eagles started camp under the radar but are starting out 10 days or are standing out 10 days in? I would have to think that Hunt and Darius Cooper have probably been your guys that have stepped up. I would say those two dudes. We're going to look at the Ravens here in a minute. What is it with these guys and the conditioning? It's a reoccurring theme now. It shouldn't have to be written in your contract to stay in shape. You're in the NFL, that's your job. He mentioned conditioning. Now look, too, Kim, when you play off ball like Woolen does, you've got to have makeup speed, closing speed, if you're going to give that guy that style to be able to play. Deion Sanders was an exceptional conditioning. And if you're going to play that style a little bit off the guy, you got to have closing speed, which means you have to be in shape. You might have the closing speed, but you have to have the conditioning to do that 60 plays. Well, then why was he let loose from Seattle? Sills, the offense will be in the top 5. The offense will be in the top 5. Just when you talk with Clint, ask him about Lampkin. His D-line is nose to nose with him. Might be good insight to the kid. Boy, I'm hearing an awful lot about the Eagles' offensive line and their backups. Boy, they're really trying to prop up Chris Cooper. We're going to find out. We got a game Saturday. We'll find out how good these guys are, Markel Bell and all these guys. So let's tell the story of the Seminole rap. I can't stand those guys. They're all right, the Seminoles. Gators, I really can't stand. Seals, do players listen to their coaches and position coaches, press conferences behind closed doors? Jimbo, here's the biggest secret that a coach gives away and that all coaches give away. Here, I'll give you a for instance, okay? Let me go to the depth chart. Let's just pretend that Vic's talking about edge rushers. And he's talking, yeah, our edge rush room is really good right now. You know, I really like what Jalix Hunt's doing. He's standing out. He's dominating practice. He's really doing a great job. You know, Nolan, you know, all those guys really doing a great thing. Got to say, too, Ebikadi is pass rushing. And when you don't hear no one else, you're looking to get in the top 3. Butch Davis used to do this shit all the time. When I first got to Miami and when I got to the Dallas Cowboys, he would do this. Yeah, Jerome, Stubbs, Hawkins, Derwin, Sileo. I was the 5th dude. It used to aggravate me. I'd sit there and I'd just aggravate the shit out of me. And even if I'm having a great practice and I'm killing everybody, Jerome, Stubbs, Hawkins, Derwin, me. And I'm like, ugh. Then I started making plays in games. Then it started going Jerome, Stubbs, Hawkins, Sileo. I moved up. Then it went Jerome, Stubbs, Sileo. Then it went Jerome, Sileo, Stubbs. That's when I knew I was in the combo. So yes, Jimbo. Yes. Yeah, you listen to your coaches. And you listen to a guy like Vic talking because Vic will let you know where you are. Ty Robinson, his chances of making the Philadelphia Eagles, it's a 50-50 deal when I heard him talking today about him. I told you a year ago, when I heard all the shit people were saying about that guy, he was poorly coached, he doesn't have great feet, and he can't get off blocks. Well, that's not changed that much. I think that dude getting off that roster is a pretty good proposition. I'd be shocked if he makes the ball team. Still, Jimmy Johnson is 83. Do you still talk to Coach? I do. I talk to him weekly. Rasputin, our pass rush is key to this whole defense. Right now, they look great in camp. We'll see. I don't think pass rush is at all is the key. You don't have great pass rushers. When you won the Super Bowl, you didn't have great pass rushers. You had great edge setters. And you kept everything in the middle of the field for your linebackers. The pass rush is not your key. Shit, dude. Your run defense wasn't that hot last year. I mean, the year you won the Super Bowl, Sweat was the only pass rusher you had. It's about setting the edge with Vic, keeping everything in the middle, keeping everything in a box, keeping it in the phone booth. With Greenard and a healthy Carter, what I'm hearing about Hunt and Camp, I'm optimistic. Rasputin, Greenard is a concern. He's been hurt his entire career. He's been hurt his entire career. All but 1 year he's played a full season in 6. Sills, I get the sense that with Vic, players know where they stand before the presser. Oh, yes. Nickel defense, that's why Nakobe will be missed with all the injuries. He was a great run defender, and I think he was good in open space. So I think we need to get a bookend on the D-line or Max Crosby, Will Anderson, etc. Bird Gang, you won a Super Bowl without those guys. Why would you think you need that? That position is so overrated. I mean, it is so overrated. Myles Garrett on that defense with that offense, that makes sense. But do me a favor here. And I think I've done this with some of you guys. Let's take a look at the top edge rushers in football. Let's see what kind of impact these guys have had. Will Anderson, playoffs. Okay. Parsons, never been to an NFC title game. Hutchinson, been to an NFC title game. TJ Watt, no Super Bowl. Danielle Hunter, no Super Bowl. Myles Garrett, no Super Bowl. Max Crosby, no Super Bowl. Jonathan Greenard, no Super Bowl. Jalen Phillips, no Super Bowl. Josh Hines Allen, Jags, no Super Bowl. Brian Burns, no Super Bowl. Trey Hendrickson, no Super Bowl. These guys are the elite edges and the highest paid guys in the league, and they deliver shit for your team. Why in God's name would you pay that? When I'm looking at getting the collective better, I'm not paying that for an edge. Dude, Will Anderson, okay, Will, Parsons, I guess. Parsons has had no impact on his defensive football team since he's been a player in the NFL. None. Last year, Myles Garrett, his Browns won 6 games. They were 5th in total defense. He can't throw the ball or catch it. Garrett's going to make an impact. Parsons has had no impact. And you want to pay him $51 million? More than Jalen? Good luck. Good luck. I've got no interest in paying that position. I'm going to pay corner and DT. And I might pay a safety. Those are my premium positions. And it depends on what the scheme is also. Get Max Crosby. Why? You're a better team without him. And bro, let me guess, Shane, what you want to give up for Max Crosby. Let me guess. Nolan Smith and some draft picks. The Raiders ain't going for that shit. They're going to want somebody like Jalix Hunt. They're not going to want a broken down Nolan Smith. They're going to want Jalen Hunt or Jahad Campbell. You really ready to give that up for Max Crosby? What do you think you're going to give up? Or, by the way, you might have to give up Tyler Steen. I love how fans go, well, we'll give him a draft pick and we'll give him Nolan. They'll laugh at you. Nolan Smith. They have no interest in that guy. Sills, I understand Greenard will miss the rest of the preseason and practice. Do you think he'll be conditioned by the Commanders game? No, I don't. Riding on a bike? Maybe a little. I may get our own bookend in the draft. Well, you might. Hey, Jalix Hunt might get 13 sacks this year. If he gets 13, 14 sacks, guess what? Now you got a bigger problem. Now you got to sign Cooper, Q, Hunt, Ajomo, and Hurts. Now you're talking about some severe economic damage. Kim getting rid of Parsons exposed their weak-ass defense. Corners look terrible without his pressures. They're better now. They beat you. They beat you last year, and they came from 21 back. Without Parsons. Ned, you might have to pay Devontae again. So Vic wants versatile players who can stay on the field. Getting a guy to attack on 3rd and long is sexy, but not what Vic looks for. No, he looks for that guy that's up in Minnesota right now who plays outside. He looks for somebody like that. So how are Landon and Juergens doing? Gary says Landon still limps a little. Juergens is having a good camp. Dallas Turner? Not Dallas Turner. Who's the edge guy up in here? Who's the guy in Minnesota? Plays for the Vikings. Van Ginkel. Van Ginkel. That dude. He likes dudes like Van Ginkel. Yeah, Kyle. That's the guy he likes, Van Ginkel. Can drop, can cover, can set. Cowboys top 5 rushing defense by week 5. Sills, watch out. Cowboys haven't had a good rushing defense in a decade. In a decade. Greenard is either getting 8 sacks or less than 3. It's a complete coin toss with him. I think you're right. I think Bald Bear, he's going to be either a grand slam or he's going to be a colossal miss. Like the guy that you guys went out and got from the Chicago Bears a few years ago. I don't believe he's that guy, Robert Quinn. I don't believe that. But he is always hurt. By the way, that's a fair statement. Seals, do you think Dak retires a Cowboy? No. How many divorces have ended well in Dallas? Emmett. The only reason Aikman retired a Cowboy because he had concussions. Same with Michael Irvin. Most of the time, those divorces in Dallas end poorly. Jalix is going to be nasty. I think you're right. But like you said, we'll have to pay him soon. That's another reason why I want to draft a bookend. Won't have to pay him for 3 to 4 years. I think next year there's two positions to look at. And, now that we're getting the news, I first thought you'd want to go get another corner, but I think it's going to be an offensive tackle. I mean, I think it's going to be a tackle. OT. Going to be hard to replace someone as talented as Lane Johnson. Hopefully, Eagles have a plan at that position. Well, when you talk about replacing someone, you're talking about trying to dismiss the catastrophic fall off. Like I told you, look at what you did with Jason Peters and Jordan Mailata. Here's Jason Peters' talent right here. Well, when you got Mailata, it was this much of a gap close. That's phenomenal. Jordan Mailata is not better than Jason Peters. That's not a fact. Look at what you did with Cam Jurgens and Jason Kelce. Kelce's here, Hall of Famer. It's been kind of here. That's great. That fall off. Milton Williams. Ajomo. Right here. You're lucky not to have this. Wham. You're down here. And you got a catastrophic fall off when you're replacing someone. You don't want that. That's why the interchangeable right guard position on the Eagles has not really. Isaac Seumalo's been the best right guard in 5 years. Steen's okay. He's not better than Isaac. And he clearly has not had a year anywhere near what Becton did in 24. But he's solid. John's right. He's going to get paid. He's not been the best right guard. It's the first time that right guard hasn't been replaced in 5 years. That's an interchangeable spot that they have. Actually, from Bradbury to Q, you were here with Bradbury. Q's extended it. You've elevated the Q, the corner one position. Actually, you should say it's Slay. You went from Slay over here to Q, now drop off. You're not like everyone goes, I want to replace Jalen Hurts. All right, well, Hurts is here. Who are you going to replace him with? Mac Jones? No, thank you. Who are you going to replace him with? Joe Burrow? Okay. I'm trying not to have drop-off. Look, Jalen Phillips, Jonathan Greenard, same guy. Jalen Carter, Fletcher Cox, Eagles have no O-line, might win 8 games. Still watch what I bet you. Okay. But Steen is consistent, and that's exactly what they need him to be. And he is. Steen has been a solid pick. Consistency and always available. Played over 1,000 plays last year, too. Sop Greenard is better than Phillips. Okay. Yeah. All right. Why? Because he's not on Philly. Tackles play guard too easy transaction. If you're a bust, most of the guy, remember something. Tyler Steen was a tackle in college. That's why he's playing right guard. Which meant he couldn't cut it as a tackle in the NFL. Tackles get paid more, my friends. Especially than right guards. That's the position you go when you're not you didn't make it as a tackle. All right. Dude, day 10. How about this? Before we get to Big Z here. So check this out. We got 6 games on Thursday, 3 games on Friday, 7 on Saturday, Eagles and Ravens, and we're in day 10 practice. All right. Without